Introducing your 2011 AAA Blues. Defenseman. Number 2, Patrick Komodowski. Defenseman. Number 7, Hutch Rubis. Forward. Number 9, Tyson Boyer. Defenseman. Number 10, John Peterson. Defenseman. Number 11, Malachi Smith. Defenseman. Number 12, Linus Brooks. Forward. Number 13, Brandon Bauer. Forward. Number 16, Braden Harris. Forward. Number 17, Jackson Giorgio. Defenseman. Number 19, Emerson Minimin. Forward. Number 21, Mason Blanchard. Forward. Number 27, Grant Fugner. Forward. Number 29, Ian Bowers. Goalie. Number 30, Max Stutzer. Goalie. Number 31, Luke Scanapieko. Forward. Number 66, Braden Schneider. Forward. Number 85, Gordon Crowley. Forward. Number 88, Luke Wessel. Forward. Number 91, Jonathan Zilm. Forward. Number 93, Ben Spatansky.
Okay, let's go.
All right. Good morning again from Centene Player Rink, where the Blues will play Game 2 against Indy Elite. Looks like the Blues will start out with Giorgio Harris and Brandon Bauer. Hutch Rubis and Johnny Peterson are on defense. Blues win the draw. Hutch stick handles around somebody, and the puck's dumped in deep by Bauer. Ian Harrison after it goes behind the net. Good stick check there by Giorgio. Gets it up top to Peterson. Deflected on. Saved by the goalie. Hutch has it out at the point. Fires it to the net. Comes out to the boards. Bauer throws it on net. And the goalie catches the rebound. Same personnel on for the Blues here. Won by Giorgio. Shot from the point blocked by Indy. He's hurt. Goes off to the bench. Held in at the line by Harris. He gets it out of the zone, and Hutch dumps it back in off the goalie's helmet. Behind the net, good forecheck by Giorgio. Puck's picked up by Bauer in the corner. He tries to get it to Jackson, and it's taken away. Brimmed around, kept in over by Hutch to the goal, and the goalie will catch it for another face-off to his left. Blues send out Spatansky, Boyer, and Wessel with Miniman and Komodowski. Face off won by the Blues. Wessel tries to go back to the point, and it's blocked. Held in by Miniman at the line. And they call a hand pass on the Blues, so the puck will come out to neutralize. Blues win the draw again. Miniman dumps it deep, goes behind the Indy net. Boyer in on the forecheck. Gets by him. Spatansky keeps it in. Here's Wessel. He drops it back to Boyer, who grabs it, tries to go out front to Spatansky, and it's blocked towards the goal. Indy chips it out. Kept in by Wessel. He throws it to the far boards. Boyer over to get it. He gives it to Spatansky in the corner. Sneaks by him. Battle behind the net. Wessel and Spatansky. Indy gets the puck off the boards. Wessel takes it over behind their net again. He's got Spatansky with him. Gets by him. Boyer almost lays a big hit. Indy gets it out of the zone, and they'll break out down the right. Shot on net. Luke grabs it, throws it back to Komodowski, who dances away from one and carries the puck up the ice. He finds Wessel on the wing, enters the zone, tries to get it to Spatansky. He recovers the puck, gets it to Wessel. It's knocked off of his stick, kept in there by Brooks. Tipped on goal and saved. Oh, Spatansky takes a huge hit, and he is down. Indy Elite comes out of the zone. Spatansky skates to the bench. Indy's got the puck down in the blue zone. Out by Brooks. He's got to Blanchard. No, Fugner. Fugner comes in, cuts to the net, tries to get it to Zillman. It's tipped away. Good move there by Fugner, who fires it towards the net, goes just wide and brings around out of the zone. Brooks back to get it. He goes to Malachi Smith, who's got Zilm up along the blue line. He dumps it deep and goes in behind the Indy net. Blanchard in on the forecheck. It's left behind by Indy. They go up the wing. Incomplete pass taken over by Brooks. He finds Zilm. Zilm dumps it deep again and goes for a change. Bugner in on the forecheck. Hutch Rubis will keep it in the zone. Here's Fowler. He tries to hit somebody, separates him from the puck. Johnny Peets throws it in from the point, saved by the goalie, held in by Rubis. Schneider takes it over. It gets poked off of his stick, and here comes Indy out of the zone. It's dumped deep. Icing is waved off. Peterson goes around the boards. It's going to come up to Ian Bauer, who gets it out of his zone. He finds Schneider. Schneider breaks in on the left wing. Shot saved by the goalie off his pad. Crowley with the puck behind the net. He goes up to the point to Peterson, back to Crowley. Crowley's got two on him. He finds Peterson again. They hold it in the zone. Now Indy Elite gets it out. Rubis back to get it. His outlet pass is picked off. Shot caught by Luke Scarpiecco. And face-off will be to Luke's right. Face-off won by Indy. Goes back to the point. Bauer pressures there. Giorgio lays a hit, separates from the puck. Miniman takes a hit, gets it up to Jackson. It's poked back behind the Blues net. Miniman goes to Komodowski, who goes up the wing, tries to get it to Harris, doesn't make it there. Miniman behind the net, takes over the puck, gets it to Giorgio. Giorgio out to Harris. Harris comes up the left wing. He's got Bauer going to the net. It's poked off of Harris's stick, put back in by Komodowski offside. Blues have Giorgio, Bauer, Harris with Komodowski and Miniman. Puck won by the Blues. Giorgio goes back to Komodowski, up to Miniman, over to Bauer. He finds Giorgio. Puck skips off of his stick. And here comes Indy Elite into the blue zone. Chips it in, taken over by Komodowski, who circles behind his net. Reverses to Brandon Bauer. He'll go up to Giorgio. Giorgio goes up the boards looking for Harris, and it's picked off. And Indy chips it back into the blue zone. Komodowski has the puck. He switches to Bauer. Bauer curls back in and goes to Miniman, but it's picked off. Miniman keeps his guy out wide, tries to go to Bauer. It's picked off. Puck picked off there by Harris, who comes up the ice. He's got Stefanski. Puck doesn't make it to him. Shot back in by Indy Elite, and Miniman will retreat to get the puck to Stefanski. He tries to dump it deep, and it's cut off by Indy's defense. Miniman picks it up, skates over the red line, and dumps it into the zone. Chased after by Boyer and Wessel, who come onto the ice. Indy takes over and breaks out the wing. Good forecheck there by Wessel. He's got their guy tied in. Stefanski goes to help. Picked up by Malachi Smith. Rebound comes to Boyer, who shoots just wide. Stefanski tries to get the puck to the net. It deflects out to Boyer, who goes up top to Brooks. Brooks takes one shot, gets blocked. Second shot gets blocked out to the corner. Stefanski comes to Wessel. Wessel tries to center to Boyer, gets blocked. Carries out to the corner up to Malachi Smith, who shoots it towards the net. That's deflected wide by a defenseman, Shingard. Wessel carries around, tries to go to Malachi, and it goes outside the zone. Good move there by Smith. Puck going to be flipped in by Wessel. Stefanski in on the forecheck. He gets to it, chips it on net, and the goalie makes the save. Well, a face off to the goaltender's right. Blues send out Hugner, Zilm, and Blanchard with Rubis and Peterson. Face off won by Indy. He curls behind his net, takes a hit from Blanchard. Good stick from Hugner. and the Indy Elite breaks up the right side. They dump it deep into the blue zone, played by Luke around. He gets it to shipped up to Grant Fugner. He breaks down the right side. He maintains possession, tries to get it out to Blanchard in front, and it slips off his stick. Indy can't complete the breakout pass. Rubis takes over. He goes over to Peterson. Peterson carries out of his zone across the red line and dumps it in off an Indy defender. Forecheck. Zilm on the forecheck. He goes up the boards, but Fugner had already cut towards the net. Peterson takes over, gains the zone, shoots it to the net, rebound out front, but Zilm gets tied up, and Indy breaks out up the middle. They've got a partial break. Good job there by Peterson to tie his man up. Puck comes up to Zilm on the right wing, and he'll fire it around the boards. Schneider, first one into the zone. He gets the puck, throws it to the net. Picked off in the middle again by Schneider, and that shot's caught by the Indy defenseman. Another face-off to the goalie's right. Blues now have Crowley, Schneider, and Ian Bowers with Miniman and Kamadowski. Draw's tied up. Indy's winger comes out with it. Kept in there by Miniman. Puck goes behind the net. They go up the boards. Good hit there by Kamadowski, and Schneider goes back to get it. He finds Miniman, who will go back behind his net. Gets it over to Schneider. Schneider reverses to Miniman, who's got an open lane. He goes up the boards to Bowers. Bowers tries to hit Crowley. Pass doesn't make it. Back to Miniman, over to Kamadowski. Back to Miniman, who skates up the ice, gains the red line, and dumps it deep. Blues will come in on the forecheck. Schneider, the first one there. Kamadowski pinches. Indy gets the puck out of the zone right to Jackson Giorgio, who gets it over to Miniman, fires it back in. Ian Bowers on the forecheck. Indy's defender falls down. Jackson's over helping. Puck to Harris, out to Kamadowski. He wrists it towards the net. It's deflected on by Giorgio. Harris picks up the rebound. Gets it up to Miniman. His shot is wide of the net. Got Brandon Bauer takes the puck in the corner. Out to Giorgio. Gets up to Kamadowski. He circles back to the point. Gets a wrist shot off again. Rebound comes out to Brandon Bauer, and his shot is caught by the goalie. Blues will keep Giorgio, Harris, Bauer, Smith, and Brooks out there. Face off one goes to Malachi Smith. His shot's blocked. Harris caught it, laid it down, gave it out to Brooks. Harris takes a hit, goes back out to Brooks. He drops it into the corner to Giorgio, who goes up to Harris. Harris has the puck in the corner. Two guys with him. Gives it to Giorgio. Giorgio up to the point to Brooks, who fires it on net. It's blocked. They try to go up the boards, and it bounces out to the forward, who's got a 2-on-1. Brooks, the only man back. Shot from left hash is saved by Luke, and he'll hold on for a face-off. Good save there by Luke on the 2-on-1. Blues send out Spatinsky, Wessel, and Boyer. Brooks and Malachi Smith stay out there. Face off, won by the Blues. Boyer comes up the left wing. He's looking for somebody. Wings it towards the net. Saved by the goalie, who defenseman rings it around the boards. Wessel picks it up in the corner. He finds Boyer behind the net, looking for Smith, and it's tipped in. Blues scored a goal. I think Spatansky got the tip on Malachi Smith's shot on a great pass from Boyer. I think that one will be Spatansky from Smith and Boyer. Blues take a 1-0 lead. Face off won by the Blues. Goes to Brooks. He gets it deep. Boyer and Statansky chase after it. That's Peterson. Statansky checks his guy. Puck squirts out to the Indy guy. They clear the zone, get the outlet pass. Hutch pushes his guy wide, pinches him off, and takes over the puck. He gets it, tries to get it to Wessel. It's cut off. Statansky and Rubis battle in the corner. Good stick there by Peterson to put the centering pass back to the corner. Wessel chips it up the boards. He's got Boyer. Here comes Boyer. He's got a step on the defender. Off the post. Statansky keeps it in on the sideboard. It pops out to Wessel. Wessel finds Peterson. He dances. Shot gets on goal. Kicked wide by the goalie. Wessel with a good hit in the corner. Good forecheck here by this line. Finally taken over by Indy Elite, and they find a guy up the center of the ice. He'll dump it on net. Luke makes the save, gets it to Peterson, who goes up the wing to Wessel. He comes in on the right wing, takes a slap shot that the goalie shoulders over the netting. Face off to the goalie's left. Blues send out Hugner, Zilm, and Blanchard with Miniman and Komodowski. Indy wins the face-off, comes behind their net. Zilm ties his man up. Blues keep the puck in. Pinched by Komodowski. And it must have just barely come over the line. Blues are offside. Face off in the neutral zone. Komodowski picks up the loose puck at center ice. He backhands it over to Miniman, who goes up the boards to Zilm. Hugner gets it in the zone. Indy chips it right back out. Indy takes the puck over at center ice, comes into the zone, a backhand pass, finds the far winger who backhands it wide of the net. Shot saved by Luke, goes into the corner, shot up the boards, and it gets out of the zone. Blanchard check on the defenseman, and that puck is flung over the glass by Indy Elite. Should have a face-off in the future. Blues send out Crowley, Schneider, Bowers with Smith and Brooks. Face-off taken over by Indy. They chip it up the boards. Cut off there by Crowley. Schneider. Schneider finds Ian Bowers. Bowers tries to throw it far post. Nobody there yet. Schneider gets it up to Brooks over to Malachi Smith. Still ringing around the boards to Ian Bowers. He's tied up in the corner, helped out by Schneider, who takes over the puck. Ian Bowers still working over. They've got 3 Indy guys tied up with them. Still battling over the puck. Schneider pops out. Puck comes out to Malachi Smith. And it's chased down by Crowley. He'll go around his net. Comes up the ice. Tipped out of the zone by Schneider. Schneider picks off the pass. He puts a shot. Right pad saved by the goalie. Indy tries to clear up the glass. It does not come out, but it's blown dead. They call another hand pass on the Blues. Blues have Giorgio, Harris, and Bauer with Rubis and Peterson. Face off, push for the boards. Rubis chips it up. fired all the way down, and they'll call icing. Same personnel on for the Blues on the defensive zone faceoff here. Won by Giorgio, taken by Peterson behind his net. He goes up the wing to Harris, gets through his legs and all the way down for another icing on Blues. Face off to the left of Luke this time. Scramble draw is kicked by Giorgio to Peterson. He goes over to Rubis, who goes to Bauer. Good one-time pass to Giorgio, who finds Harris. Comes in on the right wing. Good shot. His shoulder to side. Giorgio with a good forecheck. Harris has the puck in the corner. He spins off the hit, looks for a pass, wraps around. He finds Hutch, and it's tipped in. Brandon Bauer with the tip on the Hutch Rubis shot there. That one's going to be Bauer from Rubis and Harris, I believe. 2-0 Blues with 1:58 left in the first period. Face off tied up at the dot. Indy shoots it into the Blues zone. Peterson back to retrieve it. He reverses to Bauer. Bauer tries to chip it up, gets knocked down by an Indy guy. Then it's flung up by Hutch Rubis into the Indy zone. It will go far enough for icing. Blues send out Spatansky, Boyer, and Wessel with Miniman and Komodowski. Face off won by the Blues, taken behind the net by Indy, wraps around, saved by Luke. Rebound comes out to Boyer. He goes up the boards trying to hit Wessel. It gets knocked down. Spatansky chips it into the zone. Icing waved off. Wessel in on the forecheck. Good job. Boyer comes to take the puck. He tries to go back to Wessel. Doesn't make it there. Puck chipped into the corner. Picked off. Outlet pass picked off by Spatansky. He chips it deep. Boyer on the forecheck. Wessel takes the puck into the corner. Back to Boyer. He goes behind the net and around. Spatansky on the forecheck. Comes out to Miniman. He can't hold the line and fires it back in offside. They're going to call intentional offsides there, and they'll bring the face-off all the way into the Blue zone. Face-off won by the Blues. Komodowski takes it. He goes off the board to Wessel. Wessel tries to backhand out of the zone, gets picked off. Shot on net, saved by Luke. Puck goes behind the net. Komodowski takes it, goes up the boards. Wessel back to get it. He's tied up within the elite winger who cuts to the middle, hurls away. Spatansky tries to kick it out. And the elite goes up to the point. Wessel pressures there. Good stick to push it to the corner. Miniman goes behind the net. Komodowski. He'll carry up the sideboard. He tries to go cross ice for the exit. Gets blocked. He goes back behind his own net. Shoots it up to Wessel. Wessel gets back check there. Taken over by Boyer at the line. He dumps it towards the net. Goalie sends it wide. And that'll do it for the first period. Blues with a 2-0 lead. All right, back out for the second period. Blues send out Hubner, Blanchard, and Zilm with Brooks and Smith. Face off won by Indy. They go D to D. Up the boards. A good hit there by Brooks, and they're going to call a penalty. Brooks gets called for interference. It looked like it was just on time to me, so not sure why the interference call. That looked like a good, clean hit. But the Blues will go on the penalty kill to start the second period now. Spatansky and Wessel with Smith and Peterson. Face off won by the Blues into the corner. Smith's on it. He's got two Indy Elite on him. Goes out to the point. Pressure there from Spatansky. Comes into the corner. Peterson pressures. Back out to the point. Spatansky to Wessel. Shot very high and wide. Kept in at the point by Indy. They go behind the corner, around the corner, behind the net, back to the corner, up to the far point, just out of Wessel's reach. Good pressure here from the Blues. Into the corner. Peterson there. He ties up his man in the corner. Help comes from Indy. They go back up to the point. Shot goes wide. Tips high of the net. Wessel with a good stick lift. He's got control of the puck. Gets it out of the zone. He goes to Spatansky. Spatansky tries to go back to Wessel. It's tipped away and goes behind the Indy net. Wessel takes it over again. He's got control of the puck. Does a good job to kill an extra 5 seconds, and now Luke's going to take a slashing penalty after he knocked the Indies guy's stick out of his hand. So the Blues will be 2 men short for 27 seconds. Blues have Giorgio, Kamidaski, and Rubis here for the 5-on-3 kill. Big face-off. Scramble draws taken by the Indy winger who centers to nobody. It goes to the boards. Go back up to the point, to the other point. Shot, good block there by Kamidaski. Sticks into the corner. Their D carries Luke back up to the point. Goes to the other D who can't control the pass. Rubis gets to it and flings it into the Indy bench. And Brooks' penalty is over, so it's now a 5-on-4 penalty kill for 1:03. Blues will add Zilm to the PK with Giorgio, Kamidaski, and Rubis. Face-off won by Indy. They get it back to the point, D to D. Tries to go cross ice. Good stick there by Kamidaski, who gets taken down along the boards. Comes back up to the forward. Good back check there by Giorgio, who gets it loose, comes up the ice, cuts into the Indy zone, but he was separated from the puck and goes offside. Good stick work there, though, to break up that play. Giorgio and Zilm stay out there. Blues change defensemen with Miniman and Peterson. Face off won by Giorgio. Miniman will fire it deep into the Indy zone. Giorgio, the forward, force forward down there. Zilm chases to the far boards, makes Indy circle back. Backhand pass, and they'll have to circle back through their zone again. Good stick there by Jackson. Breaks up the pass. Indy unable to gain control of the puck. They fling it on net, and it's covered by Luke for the faceoff. 14 seconds left in the penalty kill. Same four stay on the ice. Face-off won by Indy. They go back to the point. Shot is wide, but it's tipped towards the net, and Indy pokes it through. Power play goal for Indy makes it 2-1. Blues have Crowley, Schneider, Bowers, Brooks, and Smith. Face-off is tied up. Brought out by Indy. It's tipped to the boards. Smith takes it over at his blue line, goes D to Brooks. He goes up the wing to Crowley. Crowley into the Indy zone. Cuts back, tries to get it to Schneider, and it's hit back into the corner. Try to go to the point to Brooks. It gets past him. Shot in by Indy. No icing. Malachi Smith back to get it. He stops behind his net, goes to Brooks. Brooks goes cross ice to Bowers. He gains the blue line and goes into the corner. Shot on net. Caught and held by the Indy goalie for a face off to his left. Face off won by the Blues. Bowers swings it around the net, chased after by Crowley. Picked off there in the corner by Bowers. Indy takes it away and comes up ice. Good stick by Malachi Smith, breaks up that entry, and Indy spins it into our zone. Brooks behind the net to get it. He's under heavy pressure. Good save there by Luke at the post. Malachi Smith clears the rebound to the corner, and Bowers picks it up. He finds Schneider up the center of the ice. Schneider will dump it deep and go for a change. Stopped behind the net by the Indy goalie, and they'll turn and try to break out. Tipped into the blue zone, and now Indy will go for their own change. Tomadowski reverses. He finds Brooks. Brooks hangs out behind his own net for a second, let the Blues get set up. Finds Brandon Bauer. He goes up the center of the ice to Braden Harris, who comes up with speed down the left wing. Curls back. Goes up to the point to Tomadowski. Over to Rubis. Rubis to the point, or to the net. It gets tipped by Giorgio just wide. Harris picks up the puck, goes to Brandon Bauer, who tries to center to Giorgio. It's deflected into the corner. Giorgio chases the puck. It's chipped by Indy, gets held in by Rubis. Rubis with another shot, pad saved by the goalie. Corralled by Giorgio. He finds Tomadowski back over to Rubis. Rubis finds Bauer. Bauer maintains possession, flings it into the corner, and Indy throws it out. Gets by Rubis. Rubis and Tomadowski get the puck in their own zone. Como finds Rubis. His outlet pass is blocked. He backhands it to Como. Como goes up the wing. They've got Harris on the left side. He goes behind the net looking for a center. He finds Zilm, I think. Nope, that was, Zilm. Good hit there by Rubis. Separate the Indy player from the puck, and he gets it out of the zone. Bugner is going to chase on the forecheck. He's got Blanchard with him. Blanchard able to hold the puck in at the blue line, tries to find Zilm that hops over him, and Indy is gonna. They don't get a chance to dump it in because Hutch Rubis hit him before he had a chance. Blues are trying to shove it back into the Indy zone. Como chipped it into the zone, but the Blues still had a player who'd yet to clear, so it's offside. Hugner, Plancher, Zilm, Miniman, and Peterson on for the Blues. Face off one by Indy. They go D to D and out. Gains the red line. Carries over the blue line into the corner. Centers it. Saved. Blocker saved by Luke. Goes out to the point. They throw it back towards the net. It goes wide. Up the boards. Blanchard has the puck. Has it taken away. Peterson tries to center. They center it. Shot from the point deflected wide by Indy. Zilm clears the zone. Blanchard's up. He's got Hugner with him. Shot by Blanchard is saved by the goalie, and it deflects up over the netting. Blues send out Spatansky, Boyer, and Wessel with Miniman and Peterson. Offensive zone face-off here to the goalie's left. Face-off won by Indy. They try to come out of the zone. Kicked forward by a forward. Peterson tried to trip it up the boards. Goes to Spatansky. He gets shoved into the boards after the puck was gone. Miniman. Lots of India leader on the net there, but the centering pass went through the legs. Boyer and Wessel into the zone. Wessel keeps the puck. Spatansky tries to get it to Boyer, who turns around and hits the post with a shot. Comes back to Spatansky. He tries to shoot, caught by the goalie and held on. Face off to the goalie's right. Blues have Brooks and Smith on defense now. Spatansky, Wessel, and Boyer stay out there at forward. Face off won by the Blues. Comes out to Malachi. He goes D to D to Brooks. Down to Boyer. Back up to Brooks at the point. Brooks goes back to Boyer. Boyer fires a shot that gets blocked over the net. Move forward line out for the Blues will be Crowley, Schneider, and Bowers. Face off tied up on the dot. Blues come away with it up to Malachi Smith. He goes to Brooks. Brooks down the boards to Bauer. Hops over his stick. Indy tries to come out from behind their net. Kept in by Schneider. Good keep in there by Malachi Smith. Goes behind the net. Chased after by Crowley. Crowley with a good forecheck. Comes out to Brooks. He'll fire it towards the net. Blocked by a skate of the defenseman. And Indy comes out over center ice. Gained the blue zone and kept out there by Malley. Good stick there by Ian Bowers, and he throws it deep. Blues will change 2 or 3 forwards. Indy carries into the blue zone and dumps it deep. Malachi Smith comes back to get it. He's got time as Indy was going for a change. He goes up the wing to Braden Harris. Harris carries, gives it to Giorgio, who goes behind the net. He tries to center and it gets deflected away. Good back check there by Giorgio. Rubis takes over the puck and they go to the left wing to Harris again. He chips it around the guy and chases after it. He's tied up by 2 in the corner. Gets it over to Brandon Bauer. He carries. Taken by Rubis. He gets some space, and the shot hits somebody in front of the net, goes to the corner, comes around, Kamigoski pinches, Indy clears it down the ice, and that'll go for an icing. Face off won by the Blues. Hubner goes to the point to Kamigoski, wing to Blanchard, goes it down into the corner. Zilm had it. He's with Blanchard. Blanchard goes over to Rubis, who takes open space. Shots deflected wide. Kamigoski at the point goes back down to Zilm. Goes behind the net to Hubner. Blanchard with a hit on the forecheck. Kamigoski pitches to hold it in. Indy chips it back up the boards, held in by Zilm. 4 players tied up with the puck along the boards. It hops out to Hubner. He's got Zilm in front, tries to get it to him, but the pass gets blocked. Kamigoski pinches, keeps it in, goes behind the net to Hubner, back to Kamigoski. Kamigoski wheels away from the defenseman and gets it taken away, and here comes Indy on a partial break. Good job there by Rubin to cut the player off. Blanchard retrieves the puck, and it's tipped deep by Hubner. Zilm will be the first one into the zone. He gets it to Grant Hubner. Hubner curls away, goes behind the net to Blanchard, or Zilm, I apologize. Boyer's out on the ice. He takes over the puck, goes into the corner. Blues are looking for a change, though. Indy takes it over. That crossing, that clearing attempt gets knocked down by Miniman. Puck slides off the stick of the Indy player on a breakaway, though. Goes up the boards to Boyer, who takes a big hit. Boyer comes out looking to throw a hit, and Peterson dumps it deep. Spatansky on the forecheck, turnover, taken by Wessel. He tries to center to Boyer. It's broken up. Pass that gets out to the point. Shot towards the net by Peterson. Spatansky turns and tries to get a shot that's blocked to the corner. Comes back up to Peterson, down to Wessel on the half boards. He goes behind the net to Boyer. Boyer's tied up. Spatansky's with him. They try to dig it out. Comes out to the point to Peterson. Peterson's shot. It's loose. Blues poke away at it. Can't put it in the net. It sneaks to the corner where Spatansky retrieves it, has it pushed off his stick. Boyer knocks it down and throws it back behind the net. Spatansky on the forecheck. He takes out his guy. Shot by Peterson goes high. Schneider's on the ice. He keeps it in. Indy goes up the boards and they fling it out to center ice. Miniman will chip it back to the red line. Spatansky carries into the zone. He tries to chip it around the defenseman. Maintains possession. He's got Schneider with him in the corner now. Spatansky still has the puck. He goes behind the net, gets it out front to Wessel, but Wessel's tied up. He gets the puck over to the D-man, Brooks. Brooks fires it into the corner, and it's cleared out by Indy. Off of Malachi's stick, retrieved by Brooks. He carries up through the red line, across the blue line, into the Indy zone, and it slides off his stick. Malachi breaks up the entry there, and it'll be offside by Indy. Face off won by Indy, swung into the blue zone. Brooks will come behind the net. He reverses to Smith. Smith carries, finds Crowley. Crowley tips it to Schneider. Schneider into the zone with speed down the left wing. He goes to Brooks at the point. His dump is blocked by the defenseman. Cross ice pass to Crowley. Crowley's in the corner. He's got one man draped all over him. Puck goes behind the net. around the boards. Ian Bowers pins his guy, comes out with the puck, backhands it to Crowley. Crowley goes to Smith. Smith dumps it behind the net. Schneider on the chase. He ties up his man. Good job there by Schneider on the forecheck. Centers it, but it's picked off by Indy. Kept in there by Malachi Smith. And here comes Indy's with speed down the left wing. Malachi Smith with a good body. Gets it to Brooks. Brooks up the wing to Schneider. His pass is blocked. Malachi lays out the Indy player, and they have a 2-on-0. And it's in the net. 2-2 game. Indy broke in on a 2-on-0. Two game, 2:12 left in the second period. Blues have Giorgio, Harris, Bauer, Tomodaski, and Rubas on the ice. Blues win the face-off. Tomodaski circles into his own zone to Rubas. Back to Tomodaski. He goes for Bauer just out of his reach, and they will call icing on the Blues. Face off to the left of Luke Scantiecco. Not sure what the holdup here is. Looks like we're ready to go now. Giorgio, Harris, Bauer, Tomodaski, and Rubas. Blues win the face-off. Rubas up to Bauer on the wing. He fans on a clearing attempt, comes back behind the net to Rubas. Rubas to Tomodaski. Rubas takes another late hit. Giorgio breaks out, finds Bauer, bounces on him. Harris carries into the zone down the right wing, goes behind the net, out to the point to Tomodaski, over to Rubas. Rubas' shot is blocked, comes outside the zone. The Blues will have to reset. Rubas up the wing to Bauer. He takes another late hit. Indy clears it in, dumps it into the zone. Rubas to retrieve. He's got forwards breaking, finds Harris, but he tipped it on our side of the red line, so that'll be icing on the Blues. Blues have Bugner, Zilm, and Blanchard out there with Peterson and Miniman into the corner. Miniman comes, gets it, homes it around the boards to Zilm. Bugner chases after it, and it gets stuck in an Indy guy's skates. Peterson clears up the ice to Zilm. Zilm tries to tip it to Bugner. Kept in there by Zilm, and it comes out to Miniman at center ice. Peterson will dump it on net from the blue line. Blanchard chases. Forecheck there, and it's flung out by Indy, retrieved by Miniman. He tries to go to Peterson. He goes up the boards. Puck doesn't get out. Blanchard takes it over, goes up the boards to Bugner. He comes into the zone. High shot is knocked down by the goalie. Shot into the corner by Zilm. Huebner's tied up there. Indy just flings it out. It will not have enough for icing. 4 seconds left. Peterson will just kill the rest of the period. 2-2 game after 2 periods. Back to the third period. The Blues have Bowers, Crowley, and Schneider out with Smith and Brooks. Face off won by Indy. Defenseman gains the red line and throws it into the zone, knocked down by Brooks. Scramble. Puck is loose in front of the Blues net. Carried out there by Crowley. He gets it to Bowers. Bowers has Crowley cut into the net. Tries to get the puck to him and gets knocked down. Maintains possession in the corner. He gets tied up along the board. Schneider comes out with the puck behind the net. He's still got it. Bowers out to the point to Brooks. Brooks comes back down to Bowers in the corner. He springs off the hit, gets it to the front of the net, goes all the way through. Schneider carries, retrieves it, goes up to the point to Smith. Indy tries to clear, caught by Malachi. Shot tipped on net. Oh, good stick there by the goalie to take it away from Crowley as he tried to cut across the crease. Dumped deep by Indy. They'll go for a change as Brooks gets it behind his own net. Tries to clear it up the boards and fans on it. Now Smith fans on an outlet. Gets it up the boards to Bowers. He finds Giorgio in the center of the ice. He goes over to Harris on the wing. Harris is tied up. Giorgio comes in, lays a hit. Harris takes the puck, gets out of the zone. Blues have to let everyone clear, and then it's dumped in deep. Bauer on the forecheck comes up to the blue line, dumped deep by Rubis. Indy's got it behind the net. Giorgio stick knocks it down. He'll go up to the point to Peterson. Peterson, it's deflected to the net. Oh, off the crossbar by Bauer. And Indy dumps it deep. I guess we have an icing here on Indy. They must not have gained the red line there. Face off to the goalie's right. Giorgio, Harris, Bauer, Rubis, and Peterson. Face off won by Indy. Forward check by Harris. Indy tips it up the center of the ice. Peterson takes over the puck. He'll carry it into the zone. Gets pinched off by an Indy defender. Puck goes around the board. Fowler chases after it. He's tied up. Giorgio comes in to get the puck. He gets it to Harris. Harris stick handles through some traffic. Tries to backhand it to Giorgio. It's taken away. And Indy goes up the center of the ice again. It's picked up, shot back in. Knocked down by Giorgio at center ice. He goes back to Peterson. Peterson up the wing to Harris. Harris dodges a hit. Toe drag and the shot gets blocked. Kept in by Swiatinski at the blue line. He goes to Wessel. Wessel on the forecheck. That puck is kept in at the blue line by Como, but chipped right back out. Swiatinski goes to Miniman. Miniman tries to go up the boards to Bauer, and it's blocked. Tomadoski with the puck in his own zone. Goes over to Miniman. He goes up the boards to Wessel. Wessel to Swiatinski. He carries in. His shot gets deflected up into the netting. Good break out there by the Blues, but a good stick by Indy. Offensive zone face-off to the right of the goalie. Swiatinski, Wessel, Boyer, Tomadoski, and Miniman. Face-off won by the Blues. Miniman with a shot. Deflected wide. That puck's chipped around Tomadoski at the blue line, and it's a 2-on-1. Good back check by Boyer to take the trailer. Shot wide. Weak shot picked off by Miniman. He'll go behind his net. Looks for Wessel up the wing. It's deflected into the own zone by Indy. Boyer takes the puck in the corner. He finds Miniman at the point. Goes back to Boyer. Hops past him. He gets it to Wessel. Wessel tries to center, and it's blocked. Wessel still on the puck. Cuts in off the boards. Swiatinski takes over there. He toe drags around his player. Boyer's got the puck in the corner, and his pass is deflected, and Indy breaks out of the zone. They dump it deep. Tomadoski back to retrieve it. He ties up the guy behind the net. Swiatinski, there's a trailer who takes the centering pass. Shot is deflected up over the net. Indy has the puck behind the net. They try to center. That gets blocked. Pearls goes back up to the point. That shot's caught by Luke, who loves it over to Tomadoski. He's got the puck behind his own net. Carries it out. Goes up the wing to Wessel, who tips it. Doesn't get past the Indy defense, and they come right back in. That shot's blocked into the corner. Chased after by Tomadoski. And Wessel will just swing it down the ice. Blues will take the icing for the change. They send out Hubner, Blanchard, and Film with Brooks and Smith. Scramble draw. Puck still caught in between 5 players. Still no real possession. Indy's got the puck now. Comes out to the wing. They shoot it towards the net. Luke makes the save. Takes a slash to the chest. Holds on for the faceoff. Same personnel on for the Blues. Hubner takes the faceoff. He tries to go forward with it and does. Chips it out of the zone. Blanchard in on the heavy forecheck. He forces the guy behind the net. Hubner takes over the outlet pass. Goes into the corner. They throw it back around the board. And Indy breaks out. Broken up by Malachi Smith. And dumped deep by Zilm. Blues go for a change. Zilm will put some pressure on. That outlet pass goes off a forward stick. It's then taken away from Crowley. Shot over the net by Indy. Blocked down by the Blues. Blues puck in front of the net. Indy has the puck now behind the net. Crowley chips it up, and now it's chipped out of the zone by Zilm. It will go far enough for icing. Blues have Crowley, Schneider, and Bowers out there with Peterson and Rubis. Puck's tied up behind the net. Two Blues, two in the elite. Peterson tries to push the center and wide. Comes out to the point, blocked by Bowers. His clearing attempt doesn't get out. Gets to the net. Comes out of the zone. Dumped deep by the Blues. They come in behind the net. Indy takes over. Carries it up the left wing out of the zone across the red line. Good body there. Comes up to Bowers. It's taken away from him, though. Shot back towards the blue zone, blocked by Rubis, and that will be offside. Well, another hand pass on the Blues. Blues have Giorgio, Harris, Bauer, Tomadowski, and Miniman. Won by the Blues. Tomadowski takes it over, carries it to the red line, and dumps it deep. Bauer in on the forecheck. He gets there at the same time as Indy. Harris keeps it in. Miniman keeps it in over to Tomadowski. His shot is caught and held by the Indy goalie. Face off to his right. Face off won by Giorgio to Miniman. Miniman throws it up over the net. Bauer chases it down in the corner, spins it around. Nobody over here. Indy breaks out. Knocked down at center ice by Tomadowski. Harris takes over the puck, tips it ahead, and it's dumped back into the blue zone. Miniman retrieves it in the corner. He goes up the center ice to Giorgio. Tries to get it to Bauer. It's deflected. He backhands it towards the Indy zone. Indy will dump it deep behind the net. Stopped by Luke. Picked up by Miniman. He goes around the boards to Bauer. Pops over his stick to the D-man, who fires a shot well wide. Comes out the far wing to Harris. He goes out to Miniman, who will get it out of the zone up the ice. Puck taken by Bauer at center ice. He cuts in, gives it back to Giorgio, and it's taken away. Blues just changed D. They find the trailer. Shot saved by Luke's blocker. Back out to the point. They find the guy in the middle. Puck is spinning in the crease, and it's cleared away by Smith. Spatansky, Boyer, and Wessel out with Rubis and Peterson, looks like. Oh, sorry, that's Brooks and Smith still out there on defense. Puck's behind the net, centered by the Indy Elite. Wessel tries to grab it, can't get control. Malachi Smith flips it up over the glass. Another face off to Luke's right. Indy tries to get a shot off the face-off. That gets blocked. Glove down by Smith. Taken away by Indy. Shot saved by Luke. That shot blocked by Stefanski. Gets to Luke. He dives out. He is stuck on the ground. Tucks behind the net. Carried out by Smith. He finds Wessel as an outlet. Wessel carries. He's got Boyer with him. Wessel into the zone. Backhander right into the crest of the Indy goalie. He'll hold on for the faceoff. Blues send out Hubner, Blanchard, and Zill with Rubis and Peterson. Face-off won by Indy. Blanchard chases behind the net. In on the forecheck. Can't get a stick on it. Indy breaks out. They'll come down the left wing. Rubis pushes them out wide. Puck goes behind the net, taken away by Rubis. Chips up the boards. Centered again by Indy, goes all the way through. Blanchard takes over. He gets it to Fugner. Fugner finds Zilm. Zilm into the zone. Tries to chip it by a defenseman. Gets picked off. Taken away by Rubis. Rubis tries to find Zilm just barely out of his reach, and the Blues are in on the forecheck. Fugner gets the puck in the corner, but it's battered away from him. Here comes Indy's defense. They gain the red line into the blue zone. Rubis separates him from the puck. Peterson takes over in the corner, shoots it up the wing. Nobody there. Blocked by Rubis on the way to the net. He'll carry out of the zone now. At center ice into the Indy zone. He finds Zilm. Zilm to the net. Kept in by Crowley. Now broken up by Zilm. He tries to go to Snyder and his stick gets lifted. Indy carries out. Chipped up the ice by Indy. They gain red line and shoot it deep. Komodowski goes behind his net, reverses for Miniman, gets past him. He backhands it up and it gets out of the zone. Schneider after it. Puck goes up in the air. Indy picks it up inside the blue zone. Shot high all the way around to the other point. That shot gets through off the Luke's pad. Another shot from the far point. That goes all the way around. They shoot it behind the net. Komodowski picks it up, looks around, makes a move around one. He finds Miniman. Miniman carries up. He gains the blue line, drops it for Bowers. His pass is blocked, and Indy takes possession. They come up the right wing, and the winger can't handle the pass, so Komodowski takes control of the puck. He finds Miniman. Miniman goes up the ice, and it gets deflected by Indy deep into their own zone. Bowers on the forecheck after it. Harris finds the puck. He's looking for space. He and Bowers behind the net. Harris out to Miniman at the point. Miniman with a shot. Bowers with deflection and tried to get the rebound, but he was tied up. Giorgio with the puck. He finds Harris. Harris out to the point to Komodowski. Komodowski with a shot gets blocked. Indy clears it out. Cross-ice pass broken up by Komodowski. Good job there by Giorgio to break up the play. Komodowski with the puck behind the net. He goes up the wing to Harris. Harris goes for Giorgio. Giorgio finds Brandon Bauer just onto the ice. He cuts down the right wing, pulls up, looking for help. Puck comes down behind the net. Harrison on the forecheck is rimmed around. Brandon Bauer gets a stick on it, but Indy gets it out of the zone. Taken by Giorgio, back to Komodowski, back to Brooks, over to Malachi Smith, who will point it behind the net. Bauer and Boyer after it. Gets up the ice. Indy into the blue zone. Drop pass. Into the corner. Spatansky on the chase. He takes out his guy. Two Blues go down along with one Indy player. Puck's tied up in the corner. Comes out to the point. Shot gets deflected wide. Boyer's got the puck on the wing. He tries to fling it out of the zone. Gets gloved down by an Indy defenseman. Brooks goes around the net to Smith. Smith up the wing to Bauer. Bowers to Stefanski. He can't control the pass, and it goes to the Indy D. They turn it right back over to Brooks. Brooks tries to hit Wessel, and it's out of his reach. He'll go down for an icing. 2:18 left in the third, 2-2 game. Batinsky, Boyer, Wessel with Rubis and Peterson on the ice. Face off won by the Blues. Peterson to Rubis behind the net. He flings it around, and it'll go all the way down for another icing. Bramble draws, brought out by Boyer. He's streaking down the right wing. He dumps it deep, and he's in on the forecheck. He's got Wessel with him. Tipped around him. Kept in at the point. Tipped off the post by an Indy defender. Shot from Peterson. Indy tips it out of the zone. Batansky tries to go to Boyer. It's broken up. And Indy carries. Good stick there by Rubis to tip it away. Peterson has the puck. He goes to Wessel. Wessel goes back to Peterson. Peterson tries to cut back. Good stick by Rubis to deflect that shot up over the glass. Blues send out Bugner, Blanchard, Zilm with Tomodaski and Miniman. Face off. Puck comes up the boards. Blanchard battling there, trying to get it out of the zone. He kicks it back to Tomodaski, who flips it up over the glass. Face off won by Indy, back to the point. Shot gets through, blocked away by Luke. Clearing attempt doesn't get all the way out by Zilm. Miniman behind the net goes to Tomodaski. He goes up the wing through everybody. Icing is called on the Blues. Face off one again by Indy. They get it out to the point. Puck shot is blocked by Hubner and comes outside the zone. I'm not sure if that was Hubner or Blanchard. It's hard to tell the difference between 27 and 21. Miniman circles behind his net, reverses to Tomodaski. Indy's forechecker falls down. Blanchard chases out to the point. Saved by Luke, and it's cleared out. Blanchard in on the forecheck. Makes the guy circle back. Now Zilm in on the forecheck with a good stick. Guy curls away. Crowley onto the ice. Miniman takes over possession at center ice. He tries to get it to Blanchard, gets past him, and that puck goes all the way down. Going to be icing on Indy with 8.7 seconds left. Blues will send out Crowley, Schneider, and Bowers with Tomodaski and Miniman. Face off is tied up. Kept in the zone by Miniman. Comes out to the blue line. And that'll do it for the third period. So we'll have another 5-minute 3-on-3 overtime. Blues will start today with Giorgio, Stepinski, and Peterson. Looks like the goalies are not switching in today after doing so yesterday. They'll maintain the same ends that played the third period in. Face off won by Giorgio, back to Peterson. He goes to Giorgio on the wing, back to Peterson. He'll circle back behind his net, hang out there for a second. Gives it to Spatansky, who comes up with speed. He's got one person beat, tries to get around another. He cuts back, it's taken to the ice into the boards. Can't control the puck, and it's taken over by Indy. Indy breaks out. Spatansky with some back pressure. Good stick by Peterson. It gets to Skankiewicz, who covers. Indy's guy took a hack at Luke, went into the net. Blues will go with Harris and Boyer out with Peterson. Face off. Good stick there by Harris to tie up his player. Indy tries to cut to the net, broken up by Peterson, and Harris will take the puck behind the net. He gives to Boyer. Boyer starts to come up the ice. He'll give it to Peterson, and they'll curl through. He goes to Boyer on the wing, picks up speed. He's forced behind the net, circles around, tries to give to Harris. Stick lifted. Perry gets it now. He cuts to the slot. Shot on net. Rebounds loose. Shot by Harris and saved by the goalie from his backside. Good chance there for the Blues, but an even bigger save from the Indy goalie. Smith comes on for Peterson. Harris and Boyer stay out there. Face off won by Indy. They'll take it in behind their net. Given away by Indy, taken by Malachi Smith. He finds Harris. Harris to the net, tipped up off the crossbar by Boyer. Picked off again by Smith, then chipped back into the corner. Malachi tied up with an Indy elite player there. Indy takes possession in the corner, pulls up, goes to the far wing, and they'll break it out. 57 gets poke checked by Malachi. He takes it over. He's got Boyer with him. Boyer in with Smith. Boyer with a shot. Rebound, score! Malachi Smith with the rebound goal on Tyson Boyer's shot. And the Blues with another overtime win, 3-2.